Hey guys, it's Andrew from the Influencer Project. How are you? Listen, in the last week or two, I've had probably 2 or 3 conversations with clients that sit around the conversation of receiving a yes, getting a no, feeling like crap because of a no, feeling ecstatic because of a yes. And it took me back into a conversation I had years ago with one of my first mentors. And I just wanted to sort of share that again with you. And that is, if you can think about the sales psychology of feeling associated with a high or a low in sales, to try to keep everything more in balance, you're going to be more inclined to go after achieving more success in sales. And I want to explain it like this. Zig Ziglar, one of the foremost great US sales guys, said back many, many years ago, is when he used to get a sale for $1,000, if it took him 10 attempts to get it, whether it was a no or a yes, was on average $100 per attempt. So say you'd get 9 no's and 1 yes. Most people say that the yes is worth 1,000 and the no is worth 0. So what Zig says is, he goes, don't think of it like that. Think of it like you're taking action, you're being rewarded for the action. So what he'd say is, for every yes or no, he'd make the same amount of money. So $1,000 divided by 10 equals 100. And so what he did from that is that when somebody gave him a no, he would, through his own mind, consider that, hey, I've just made $100, and he'd feel good about it. Now, in sales, that's pretty difficult. But what Zig used to do is, when somebody would go, no, thank you, he'd stand up, put his hand into his pocket, and someone would say, what are you doing? He goes, well, even a no to me, it's worth money, and I just put $100 in my pocket. Invariably, he used to describe how he used to get sales from people saying, wow, I wish you could teach me how to do that, or my salespeople to do that. Invariably, he does. What happens in my world is, when I'm playing in the world of sales, I take that same philosophy through into our mindset around sales, and that is enabling me to be the best version of myself when I get an up or a down in the general sense, which is a yes or a no. And so if we're going to take an amount of money for sale, I always divide it by the number, and I can see what activity per week or per month or per year each of my activities in conversion is costing us or is achieving for us. And so I never have no being a negative. Now, so often we consider that no is a withdrawal of love. A lot of, when you go into some of the education groups and they talk about how the no is that first form of love or affection refusal from our parents when we're 4 to 5 years old and we do something and our mother slaps us on our hand and says no. And so what we feel in the immature mind is that it's somebody withdrawing love. Now, take that fast forward into business, and when we're doing sales, if somebody says no, the immature mind of the 4-year-old thinks the person doesn't like me anymore. In fact, it's not actually the case. Invariably, no is no. So what I want you to consider is, when you're playing in the world of sales, a no is just a dividend of the total. So that is going to help you to go back out there and get more business. I want to pose it to you then like this, is that if that all makes sense and you can look at it and go, right, well, what's the total revenue? What's the number of activities I'm taking, and find out your average. If you can get $100 or $1,000 or $2,000 for getting a yes or a no, tomorrow I want to ask you this: how many more no's are you likely to go out and get tomorrow if you're going to make the same amount of money as a yes today? I'll leave that with you. But anyway, I just thought it was a really interesting perspective that I could share with you at this point of time, when clients all around me at the moment are going, how are you meant to get back up when you get told no? The answer is, just stay up. You don't have to go down at all. Anyway, Andrew McWhirter, the Influencer Project, that is my view on sales.